Hey guys, Slater Magic here, and there is something that is just bugging me. It's bugging everybody. It's in the back of everybody's mind, and when you start thinking about it, you can't stop thinking about it. And this time, I'm not just talking about tacos and cat memes, although have you seen the taco cat memes? Those are pretty good. Oh no, I'm talking about MTG Digital Next. If you haven't heard about it, that's probably because neither have any of us. I mean, I'll throw up 100% of what we know about it right now. There it is. You're about as informed as we are. Basically, everything past this is speculation, with the exception of the fact that I didn't actually watch the presentation because I have better things to do with my life. But I should back up. This presentation was given to Hasbro stockholders. I believe this occurred sometime in early 2016. So, a multi-billion-dollar company, and they couldn't fit the words active casual player inside the box. They couldn't color inside the lines. Oh my god, I am worried about you, Hasbro. Very deeply worried. I mean, you're talking a room full of millionaires that are giving you free money, and you can't fit the text in the damn box. While we're on the topic of investments, you should perhaps invest in somebody who knows how to make PowerPoint slides. Anyway, that drives me nuts. Like, I'm a little OCD, I'm a little perfectionist, I'm originally a software programmer, you cannot have glitches like that, so... Moving on from that travesty of a PowerPoint slide. Okay, they've always had MTGO, it always sucks. It's very high level, the game doesn't teach you how to play at all. They don't even give you any kind of welcome bonuses, no free packs, nothing. You are on your own, you're playing Magic, the end. It is high level, high level, high level. Now, on this chart, they completely lied to their stockholders, big surprise, by saying that Magic the Gathering Online is basically only for pro players. They put it on the pro player level. So, sorry guys, I hate to break it to you, but you can only play Magic the Gathering Online if you've been to a pro tour or a GP. If you're just a competitive player who played an organized play within the last 6 months, you're not quite up to MTGO level, which obviously that is just disgustingly incorrect. Although I would argue that MTGO's target audience is somewhere between nobody and complete idiots, because why would you buy cards that you don't physically own or control? Read the terms of service. You don't own anything any more than you own your World of Warcraft gold, okay? You don't own those cards. But you're paying for those cards. That is definitely true. That's just stupid. That's a dumb investment. It's kind of like a bar of gold, investing in that, except you don't own the gold and you don't own anything. You just pay the investment company money. Anyway, fairly recently, I believe it was Origins is when they launched this, they came out with Magic Duels, which is actually pretty cool. I liked it for what it did, but as like the level of player that I am, I didn't like it, but I could appreciate it, and I think it was well designed for what it does. Although well designed in general, oh hell no. There are unpatched glitches that, I kid you not, the staff is on record saying that they are purposely not fixing because it's not competitive, or basically, to paraphrase, it's not worth it. Like, those players are new to the game and they don't care. They don't care about making it as squeaky clean and tidy. So people, as far as I can know, to this date, can cast spells involving X with an unlimited number for X without paying its mana value. So people are going around cheating left and right on there, and there's glitches and crashes and all that. It really was hastily and poorly made. So, that doesn't bode well for the one in the middle, which is Magic Digital Next. And if you didn't see my Glassdoor episode, we found out from everybody who's ever worked at Wizards that they are very slow to adapt to anything digital, any kind of digital market, or do anything digital at all. I mean, even like their own website. I mean, people have complained about how they refuse to update it and change anything there, which, think it's not that bad. I mean, I'm a web designer too, but I'd say I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. I mean, I've seen some 2 out of 10 websites. It's better than that. So yeah, everything they make that's digital is pretty poor, but what I found out is that they actually do it all in-house, which I don't know if that's a good thing. I was hoping that their excuse for all their digital crap sucking is because they outsourced it to some low-balling, garbage quality, Indian programming team. Nope, they just hire really, really poorly skilled people to design their stuff, and they give them unrealistic budgets and time, from what I heard. Well, that's all rumor, but once again, like I said, that doesn't bode well for their new product, which is Magic Digital Next. Now, this is pretty wild, because it's like a whole new platform. I mean, Duels came out of nowhere. We didn't know anything about it. And I had heard in Duels that you can't put more than one mythic in a deck. That was their big limit to make people want to go to MTGO. Also, I think you can't directly trade cards. So, I mean, there you go. So it does what it does. It is designed to very slowly and gradually, without scaring people, teach them how to play Magic. And I think it does a fantastic job at that. I would say it would do better than I would trying to teach somebody Magic. So the next time somebody wants to play, I'll just hook them up with a copy of Duels and say, just play this for a little bit. I mean, it really is quite good, and it's very good looking too if it's kind of malfunctional and rushed. So there are some good points there, but I wouldn't sit on Duels all day and play it. I'd prefer something more like MTGO, which is, obviously X-Mage. I'm not going to pay for my cards twice. Sorry, I play enough paper Magic and I buy thousands of dollars worth of cards. I'm not going to do that twice. I'm not an idiot. Plus, MTGO is a complete dumpster fire. Just ask anybody. Oh, and they just made it twice as expensive effectively to play it. They're taking double the money out of every player's pocket now. So, yeah, I wouldn't jump into MTGO real quick. So what they're saying is that MTGO is very, very high level, unfriendly. It's an exact clone of the game. All the different formats are there. You got draft, you got everything. It's full-blown Magic. And in case you didn't know, it's, I think, something like 55 to 60% of all their income comes from MTGO, not from the printed cards. And nobody knows if that's like, net profit or just gross income. Probably gross income, the way they stated it. But then, after that, take into account printing costs, the actual printing and shipping costs. Okay, now they're way down there. They're making 4 to 1 on MTGO. So obviously they said, this is the future. Our game's 25, 24 years old, whatever. Let's make another digital product, but make this one friendlier because honestly, everybody hates MTGO. I don't think that's what they said in the presentation, but I think that was their thought process. So what do they have for basically the F&M attendee? That's like their ridiculous little swooping arrow thing with the 4 levels. Those are a load of crap. Very inaccurate at every single level except for the bottom. Yes, Duels are targeting a digital gamer who's never played Magic before and people who are just starting out playing Magic. That makes sense. So an active casual player they put at, they've played Magic in the last 12 months, but never played, no. Did they make another freaking grammar mistake? Oh my God. Oh, I see what they were going for. It's just 2 sentences, 2 full statement sentences without a period. So played Magic in the last 12 months, comma, never played or formerly played in organized play. I suppose that isn't a full sentence either, but I don't like the phrasing of that. I used to be an editor, by the way, in case you didn't catch that video. I was also a graphics designer, so this is burning my eyes right now to look at this. Okay, if you've never played formally, which is what I thought that was supposed to say, or they used to play it at F&M, which is organized play, or they've played at F&M in the last 6 months, they don't really think that somebody that kind of disinterested in Magic would jump on MTGO, I guess. And they would know. They're obviously right. They're not guessing. They know who plays MTGO via market research. So would those people jump onto Duels? Maybe, maybe not. I think both of those, they haven't really attended F&M constantly. Throw them into Duels. So I think between tier 3 and tier 4, there should be another one that says regularly attends F&M but has no interest in professional level play whatsoever, which, let's be honest, is 99% of their customers. So come on. Well, I suppose, a huge portion are like kitchen table, casual, whatever. But so just a huge amount of people, though, go to F&M regularly, but don't want to play pro and don't want to play MTGO. They don't take the game seriously enough that they want to enter like full-blown competitive tournaments on MTGO, so why invest another couple hundred is what I think is going on here. So now that you're filled in on the situation, they're going to release something, and I could have sworn it said sometime in 2017 this was coming out. Might have been 2018, but I don't know. It's not like they issued an actual release date, so whatever. So assuming it is sometime this year, okay, now it's approaching quickly. I'm starting to think about this again and worry about it because here's a couple possibilities. Because people on online forums, Reddit, all that, they've torn this apart. This little tiny, 4 sentences, they've drawn huge conclusions. But, we also know how the game works. We know everything about Duels and MTGO, and we know how the game works and how Wizards has made decisions over the last 3 years and that. So we can probably make pretty good educated guesses. So one that I want to mention right away is Wizards completely discontinuing paper Magic. I don't think that will ever happen. Not with the surge of paper sales lately, like in the last 3 to 4 years. They've had a huge surge in sales, shows that people still want to show up and play with physical cards. I would absolutely not play digital only. That's stupid. It would just kill the secondary market, just destroy it, and there would be no competitive level tournaments because what would you do, just show up with your laptop? So no way in hell is that ever happening. Absolutely not. Another suggestion is they're going to clone the Pokemon TCG in that they're going to copy the digital redemption codes, where for every time you buy a booster, there's a card in the back with a little QR code, scan it in, boom, you get one of those boosters online. So if you play paper, you can automatically play online for free or pretty darn close to it. That is brilliant. So yes, they should do that, and it's the number one thing that people say they like about the Pokemon TCG is that the optionality and the added value. Plus, what decisions have they made lately? Well, they've tried to suppress the price of standard, the price of building a deck in standard so that they get more players by subsidizing everybody's play from rich people who want the ultra premium collectible expeditions and inventions. So thus the Masterpiece series. So if, whales, as they usually call them, if they've got way too much money and they love collecting really expensive cards because, people are into that, that's cool, nothing wrong with that. If they want to buy $100 cards, okay, and like I said, it was something like 18% of the total value of a booster was from those ultra rares in the last set, just in Kaladesh. Or I think it was 15%. So standard got 15% cheaper because of that. It was brilliant because they're adding value with something that people don't need to play the game. So they didn't create a super mythic when now it's half the rarity of a mythic. But guess what? You still need 4 of them and you still need to put them in your deck. That wouldn't benefit anybody. That would just be charging everybody across the board more money. So if they added digital codes, those code cards historically in Pokemon packs are worth about 50 cents to $1 a piece. So, just imagine that. That's crazy. That would be like 1/3 of the total value of a booster right there. You could build a standard deck with nothing but mythics for $50 at that point. Come on, that would be fantastic. So that would be a step in the right direction and the same direction that they've been moving so far. So will it run digital redemptions? I think so. And that comes down to the really important logic of what does Duels do? What does Magic the Gathering Online do? Okay, what's left? And you probably think, well, trading cards, formal tournaments. I think Duels doesn't have like friends list or something like that. So, it's missing some features, but other than that, it's full blown Magic. And the deck limiting and all that. And I think they even didn't add 100% of the cards, if I heard that correctly. So there's some artificial limitations put on it, but it's so close to MTGO. What could you possibly slide into the middle? Well, I have a brand new theory. I'm sure it's not that brand new. I'm sure somebody's come up with it before, but I theorize that it's not going to have a card library at all. You're not even going to own cards. It's just going to be draft and like Fat Pack Challenge and pseudo constructed, like the limit, like pre-release limited. And then when drafting is over with, when the tournament is over with, the cards go poof, and then you never had to buy them in the first place. So where would the money come in? Maybe it would be like a small entry fee for the tournaments, or it would run solely on digital redemptions. Because just think about that. That would actually be pretty smart. If you cannot buy packs and you cannot play online without the digital codes, the only way to get them is in the paper packs. People who have absolutely no interest in playing paper would then have to stop by somewhere, stop by a local gaming store that they've never been to before, go to a Walmart, or even just support, Card Kingdom. Oh, I'll say Troll and Toad, but, don't. They're terrible people. Someone like that. One of the huge mega vendors, Star City Games, which, don't support them either. My God. So that would get more products in more hands, which it could be argued that why don't they just then sell them a digital pack, bypass the paper, the shipping, and the hassle, and just make money that way without a middleman. Okay, I could see that. But it would also take people who are pretty, competitive players who show up to F&M a lot and maybe make them buy more packs than they normally would. And that alone could override the people who live 2 miles away from the closest LGS and would have to get them in the mail. And honestly, those people tend to just jump on MTGO anyways, let's be honest. So no problem there. So just think about that. No card prices, no singles, nothing. Now, basically, standard constructed is the product. That is Magic the Gathering's product. That is what they sell. That is what the vast majority of LGSs play for FNM. So taking out constructed would be crazy. But if the online component was nothing but draft, getting to know the cards, and playing for free or close to it, then it drives local sales, and then people have paper cards, then they play constructed only with paper. That would be interesting. I mean, do I think they're going to do that? Probably not. But what other form could it possibly take? I mean, like, let's say they'd start by making an exact clone of MTG Online. Well, what do they do to make it in the middle? What, like, they wouldn't just recreate it exactly verbatim and just call it Digital Next and just tell people that it's for more casual players. Now, the other option, and I've discussed this before in a past video, charge $9.99 a month and you can use any of the cards from the set at all. It just doesn't feel like something they would do. I mean, the cost of singles, yeah, that makes sense. Like, there being singles that exist, I would say that's what's driving it pretty hard. But then again, they could look at the success of X-Mage and say, let's just clone that. Where, I mean, X-Mage is a beautiful business plan, I guess you could say, or strategy or design product, even though it's not made by Wizards and they don't make any money. So you jump on, you use all the cards you want, build whatever deck you want, and once you're happy with something, you're like, wow, this deck really works, cool, I'm glad I could test it against real people and stuff, and then you buy it in real life. So they could be banking on that driving sales. So let people play for, $10 a month, unlimited card usage, you could build whatever deck you want. The only problem is it would turn into a complete net deckathon, because I assume there would be like some kind of prizes like free subscriptions or free entries into tournaments or something like that if you win a tournament. Otherwise, who cares? So then obviously everybody would play with the same decks. If you don't have to buy the cards, yeah, you're going to play with some crazy crap. So that alone by itself would make it very different from MTGO, but very like FNM attendee friendly, and still a little bit unfriendly to new players, which is exactly what they're shooting for. So it seems like a possibility. It just doesn't feel like something they would do. It's so against Magic to just let people say, I want 4 of these, give me 4 of these, there, build the deck, done, without having to do anything to earn them. I mean, nothing else even with MTG's name on it. Not even MTG Puzzle Quest does that. You still have to get each individual card to put into your deck. Now, here's another theory. Could it be a rotating format where they just lock you into whatever is going on? Kind of like a mobile game. Like whatever the event of that week is, that's what you're doing. So one week it'll be nothing but draft. Nobody's allowed to play anything but draft. Then the next week it'll be nothing but constructed. Well, if you just built a constructed deck and had to pay for the singles like MTGO, for example, or even the booster codes or whatever, and then for a whole week you're playing just nothing but draft, what's the point? And then how would they structure it? Would they make you buy the boosters for draft, or would it be free? And then, then they could rotate to Commander for a week and everybody has to play Commander. But then you got to rebuild your deck and it's only a week and all that. So I don't really like that idea. Now, here's one proposal that I think maybe might be it, although this just seems so weird and I already can hear the players complaining about this. And let's be honest, that doesn't mean Wizards is going to veto it right away. I mean, come on, this is Wizards. Let's say it's exactly the same as MTGO. Buy the cards, they're cheaper, they're digital, everything's the same. Maybe add in digital redemptions, maybe don't, whatever, who cares. But have only standard constructed, or maybe and draft, because why not? It sells packs. So just standard constructed and draft, that's it. Block out Commander, block out anything older, block out Modern, all that. Well, the problem with that is when your cards cycle out, they are literally worthless. Like, they are worth nothing. They might even be deleted. I think people might have a problem with that. So they'd almost have to do it then subscription, and then with also a premium currency to buy boosters for drafting and for building. But then you still kind of paid for your cards. So I don't know. It's really messed up. They'd have to turn off card trades and stuff, but then you could never build anything you really wanted without, opening $1,000 worth of cards to manually build it yourself. So there's some issues with this, but if you just stick to the idea that it's MTGO but with only standard formats, and only really narrow standard formats, in fact, 2 of them, I think that might be what they do. Because then you could say, oh, if you want to own your cards long term and play professionally for a lot more money, MTGO, go graduate up to that. Otherwise, this is our mid-range product. So I think that maybe seems the most realistic. Now, every one of these theories has had massive problems with it, but if you think about the logic of the situation, no matter what they do, it's going to have design problems. People are going to have undesirable traits of whatever this is. Or I should say the players are going to have complaints, like legitimate complaints about the design of no matter how it comes out. So those are some theories that I've heard mixed with some theories of my own and what, the pros and cons or the realistic and unrealistic parts of them are. The real question comes down to, I believe in the actual presentation, I had heard that they were telling people this would be a new source of income. So that means it's not just something nice to get the brand out there, it's probably going to cost money. So how are they going to make it not an MTGO clone? And I think they had already confirmed that it's not going to plug into MTGO and let you use the cards from it. So it's going to be a whole new thing. How is it going to cost me money is pretty much what everybody's asking. The number one question to be asking is it going to generate money by doing things that we already do, like buying boxes, digital codes? Okay, it doesn't really affect me, doesn't really cost me more money unless I choose to make it cost me more money. Or is it going to directly cost money? Like straight up buy all your cards again, subscription fee, monthly fee, tournament entrance fee, whatever. Like, is it just going to be another thing to spend money on in the Magic world? And, based on how they've been acting lately, number two, it is option number two. They are going to try to get way more money out of you, which I think at this point is unrealistic because they just found out if they release a whole bunch of sets 2 to 3 weeks apart, people just start buying all of them and they can't print more money. They only get paid so much money in so much time. So adding more things to spend money on does not make people spend more money because they don't have limitless money. I actually learned this playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, the first edition. People walking into your park only have X amount of dollars in their pockets. You can raise the prices all you want. It's not going to put more money in their pockets to spend. They can only spend what they're going to spend, the end. So I think they're going for brand awareness. They're going for like dirt cheap. You can play this, whatever it is, but it's also going to keep you interested in Magic for longer, keep you from quitting. If you can't show up and play local, you'll play online instead, and it'll keep you engaged. It'll be like a retention kind of thing for players, and that's how they'll make their money. It will be more of an overall strategy for the brand to make money instead of directly a source of income. So at that point, it could actually be completely free. Considering even Duels isn't completely free, I don't think that'll be it, but I also don't think it'll cost thousands. So what do you guys think? I mean, there's a lot of interesting things to consider with this. I guess we'll find out really, really soon because they'll be announcing something about it within probably the next couple months. Oh, by the way, as a former head IT manager, the CIO of a company, I have to make fun of one of their slides. The way I'm reading this, their reason for not updating their garbage computer systems, which everybody's heard about on Glassdoor.com, their systems are a joke. The reason for that is if we buy more computers and we spend more on computers, then they depreciate more and we effectively lose more. Like if we buy more $2,000 computers, then within 5 years, they're a $500 computer, and even that's a little generous. So we lose more, so that's why we're not going to spend as much in IT. That is quite possibly the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. The staff running the computers, the people doing their jobs on the computer, using the computers, cost 20 to 50 to even 100 times more than that computer does. So if they can do their work 10% faster because you bought a computer that is 10% faster, let me do the math real quick. Oh, that's right. You should probably spend every penny you have on IT within reason. Like until it starts getting to a peak level of efficiency and speed. I knew of a graphics design company that did like printing on mugs and t-shirts and, banners and all that. And they didn't really understand this concept and they went bankrupt. I know of another company that I personally, because they're a friend of mine, I built some computers for them. And they said they were actually able, when they got 2 brand new computers, which were only $1,300 a piece. I mean, that's, come on. They were able to get rid of one of their part-time staff members. That probably cost them $15,000 a year because the work was getting done so much quicker. Everything was loading quicker. All the drawings were rendering quicker. Everything was just going so much quicker that they got rid of like half of a staff member. So I definitely had to throw that in because it just outlines how unbelievably stupid and just clueless and backwards and antique and like old the management at Hasbro and Wizards is. Now, I might be reading that slide wrong. They might be explaining why on their balance sheet they have enormous depreciation expenses for IT, and they're trying to justify why they spent more on it. I mean, maybe. Still wanted to make that point, though. So let me know your thoughts on Magic Digital Next or speculations. If you have any details or alleged leak details, any further details, anything anybody said in a tweet or a post or anything, any information would be very much appreciated by pretty much everybody. So I'll see you guys next video.